Hi, I'm Chris Luck, founder of Alphapreneur.com, which is the social network for entrepreneurs. And in today's session, we are going to talk about how to make an ebook in Canva. And this is going to be a pro level tutorial, but it's going to also be designed for beginners. And for those of you that are here live with me, I first want to really appreciate you taking the time to be here live. I mean, we have people from all over around the world. We have Hans from Amsterdam, and I lost the chat for a second. The chat's going crazy, so it's hard for me to keep up with it. So we have Hans from Amsterdam, we have Michelle from Campbell, Texas, we've got Joya from Detroit, we got Mr. Bagley from Arkansas, we have Helena saying ahoy Alphapreneurs. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here, Helena. Jamie, love your intro. So powerful, so strong. I do too. I'm a big fan of my intro. Jeff is from Florida. We have Sue from Coronado, California. We've got Biz for Creatives, which I know her name is Liz. Liz is from Dallas, Texas. We got Ronald from Barbados, Thomas from Dallas, Texas. We've got Magnus coming in from Sweden. We got Limo Jim from Vancouver, Jason from Ohio, just from all over the world. So thank you all for being here live. And if this is your first time actually seeing any of the talks from Alphapreneur, I do ask if you can subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the live sessions that we do, because I actually go live every day of the week to teach people how to start a business and how to grow a business and really how to transition from just being an entrepreneur to an alphapreneur. So with that being said, we're just going to jump into today's session. So for today's agenda, we're going to talk about why you should use Canva for ebooks. So if you really want to produce an ebook, whether you're trying to sell it digitally, you just want to use it maybe as a lead magnet or a tripwire, as the marketer kids are calling it these days, or maybe you want to actually turn your ebook into a Kindle and sell it on the Amazon marketplace. We're going to talk about, why you should use Canva for all of your design. And then also we're going to talk about my secret source for ebook inspiration. So even if you don't want to do ebooks, or you have no desire in ebooks and you just stumbled across today's talk, I still recommend that you stay around, because I kind of go crazy and just share a lot of resources as we go through these live streams. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here together. And then we're also going to get through a step-by-step Canva tutorial for ebooks. So I'm going to show you how to use Canva to design everything, to design your cover, to your table of contents, your ebook itself. Everything is going to be designed in Canva, which is a free platform and free software that you can use. We're going to do my favorite, which is live Q&A. So when we get to the end of today's agenda, then we're going to open up for Q&A, which is going to be all going and powered through the chat. So that is why it's always important that you show up here live, so that way you can actually then participate in the live Q&A. So make sure if you have your questions, hold them to the end, so that way we can do that. And then we're going to do a winner announcement to actually do a free prize. I always like to do a free prize and a free giveaway to everybody that is here live. So we're going to have a lot of fun with everything. So to jump right in about why you should use Canva for ebooks, the best thing to do is just to show you, just to really start off by diving in and actually just showing you rather than just talking about it. So here we are over at Canva. And if you want to follow along, you just go to canva.com, and that is canva.com. Now, Canva, with ebooks, there's a lot of different elements that go into doing an ebook. You got to design the cover. You've got to design the table of contents. You've got to design the actual content of the ebook and the layout of the pages, and anything else that you want to put in your ebook. It's very difficult to do with a platform like Microsoft Word or Google Docs, or anything like that. And I even know some people, they will use PowerPoint or Keynote and design their whole ebook using slides and like a software that is designed for presentations, and then export everything as a PDF. And it's just so time consuming. And so I found a really cool way that you can actually use Canva to create and design an ebook and have a lot of fun doing it. So the first thing that you're going to want to do inside of Canva is you need to decide what type of industry are you wanting to do an ebook in? Are you wanting to do a fiction? Are you wanting to do a nonfiction? Are you wanting to do it for a specific industry like fashion or food or marketing or business? You need to think about, what is your industry? So what I want to do is just actually you kind of know why you need to use Canva for ebooks. First off, probably hopefully by what I've just said. It's just really easy to use and you don't have to use any other platform and software, and it's just beautiful. But that's also going to get into the step-by-step tutorial. Once you see the step-by-step tutorial, you'll see why you're going to want to use Canva. So because what I really want to do is jump over to the next item on my agenda, because I'm really excited about this one, is my secret source for ebook inspiration. Because before I actually do the step-by-step tutorial on Canva, I want to show you where you can get inspired before you jump into Canva. So I kind of messed up today's agenda. I probably should have started off by showing you the secret source for ebook inspiration, then why you should use Canva, and then get into tutorial. So my mistake. So let's just go ahead and jump over and I can show you the inspiration. So if you go to Amazon, you can go to, there's a section on Amazon called Amazon Magazine Subscriptions. And you can just go to Google and type in Amazon Magazine Subscriptions, and you'll find this section. And from here, you can, again, decide on what category that you want to go into. And you're probably wondering, well, why are we talking about magazines when this whole conversation is about ebooks? And it's because magazines, and you could do this for books as well if you'd like, but I like magazines because the way I like to design ebooks is I like to design them to be like a magazine, not to be like a traditional book. Because especially if you're going to sell this ebook or you're going to give it away in exchange for like an email address or something like that, then you really want to blow people's minds when they go through the ebook. You really want to over deliver. And I find that doing a magazine format is really interesting to people because it's so different than what the traditional ebook is. So what I do is I will come over to Amazon's magazines and then look at the best-selling magazines that are actually like print magazines. Because what you want to pay attention to with these best-selling magazines is the layout of the cover and the colors they're using and the font they're using, the topography, the sizes of everything. How many items are they having on the cover of the magazine? So just to show you as we go through like some of these magazines, let's say you're in the food industry, maybe you're doing recipes, or maybe you have a weight loss blog or something, and you're wanting to maybe have an ebook which is going to be a collection of recipes that you want to give away in exchange for an email address so you can start building an email list. Or maybe you just want to design a recipe book or build a recipe ebook and then sell it on Amazon. You could totally do that as well. So what I want to show you is, so you would find a similar magazine that's like a best-selling magazine, and then you want to click on it just to kind of see, what it looks like. So this one is called the Food Network Magazine, and it's from Hearst Magazines, which is one of the biggest and oldest publications in the world, is Hearst Publishing. So the Food Network Magazine, once you decide on a magazine that you like, that is like a bestseller in your space, something else I like to do is go over to Google and I will type in like Food Network Magazine covers. And then I will search images, and then I will go to tools, size, and then large image, because these are going to be like full blown, like high resolution images. And these are all, I used to do this. I used to geek out, years ago. I still kind of do, going to the bookstore. Well, I can't, unfortunately, right now with the whole coronavirus thing going on. But I used to like going to bookstores and look at magazine covers, because that's how I get inspiration on not just the design of, let's say, ebooks that I'm going to create or design or develop, but also like the contents that's going to be in those books. So once you decide on a magazine that you're wanting to do, then that is proven to be a bestseller by looking at Amazon and just seeing like what magazines are bestsellers. You don't want to do this with magazines that are just, about to go out of business. So once like the Food Network is a best-selling magazine, then you can see all of the covers of just on Google Images. So then what you can do is see what they have in common. So you notice like on these, there's a big there's a big image that's kind of on the right. It's so weird. Like if you look across all of these, this second row right here, there's a big image on the right-hand side, big image on the right-hand side, big image on the right-hand side. It's the same format across all of them. Then they have on the left-hand side, I'll click it so you can see a bigger image. So they have a big image on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side, they have what you're going to get in this magazine. So first off, before we even get into designing an ebook in Canva, I'm showing you this because I want to really set you up for success. Because if you just spend your time making an ebook in Canva and it doesn't look beautiful and it's not inspiring and it doesn't really when someone sees the cover of it and they're like, they're not going to buy it or they're not going to put in their email address. So I want to teach you like some really cool like copywriting techniques. And what we're doing here is we're doing competitive intelligence. We're doing like recon on our industry and seeing what's really working. So you need to make sure that what it is that you're about to create is going to be a bestseller in your industry, or people are going to want it, be like whenever they see the image of the cover. So imagine you're in the food industry and you've decided, okay, Food Network is a top magazine, and then you can see the layout. They have like a big image on the right. They've got text on the left, and then notice like the font on the left-hand side is different for everything. So this one, it's like Best Family Dinners is in orange, and then 133, there's a number really big. Then Bacon, that's a different font. Fun Desserts, that's a different font. They have bullet points in here. 120 holiday recipes, again, all different fonts. Great Dinners, like the word great looks like it's like a brush script font. 121, the covers are just fun. And I can see why this could be a best-selling magazine, because if somebody saw this, on a magazine rack, they're probably going to pick it up and they're going to want to buy it. So far, knowing that you came to this live stream, I'm asking for you in the live chat, knowing you came to this live stream and you know that we're going to be talking about, how to create and design an ebook in Canva. The fact that I'm showing you all of this right now before we jump into Canva, is that okay? Like, is this okay that I'm showing you this? Because I always like to surprise you whenever you show up to a live stream, whether it be live on the live stream or you're watching the recording. I always want to throw surprises at you, and this is a big surprise, is showing you how actually to do your research before you even get into doing the books. Because when you get into designing your ebook, you know you're going to design an ebook that's going to just be a massive success. Because a lot of people, when they're buying these magazines at the magazine racks or at a store, before they even read the content, they're buying the magazines because of the cover. So the designing an ebook starts with the cover, which is so important. So that's why I want to make sure we cover all this. Jamie says, so cool, Chris. Yes. Tal says, absolutely. Yes, great reminder and tips. Great, keep showing. Sure is. Crazy. Mixing fonts is supposed to be bad in graphic design, but that is catchy. Yes, graphic design is one thing, but actually designing like covers of magazines and books is another thing. Paul says, this is gold. All good, Chris. I would never have thought about modeling a magazine. Yes. So that's the secret, is I wanted to show you one of my secrets for success when you're designing a book, or it doesn't matter if it's a book, it's a proposal, a PDF, whatever it is that you want to give somebody online. I always design the cover to be like a magazine, but then I take it further and I design the contents of the ebook to also be similar. So what we're going to do now that you understand that magazines is kind of where you want to be with the design and layout and look, now what we're going to do is jump over to Canva, and then we're going to make an ebook, because that is going to be the next step in the agenda, is to do a step-by-step Canva tutorial for ebooks. And then once we get through this, I'm going to jump over to the live Q&A. So for the step-by-step tutorial, what we're going to do is, once you are in Canva, knowing we're going to be going after magazines, you can start by just typing in magazine. And then when you type in magazine, notice that they already have a bunch of categories for you. They have magazine covers, fashion magazine covers, gossip magazine covers, teen, wedding, travel, food. So if you're already in one of these categories or your industries, your work's already, I wouldn't say done already for you, but it's pretty close. So you can go ahead and click on like food magazine cover. And they just encountered a problem on their end. Let's go ahead and reload this page. Come on. Okay, there we go. So sometimes every once in a while, Canva will have problems. So then you come here and then you'll notice these food magazine covers, they might, look beautiful to you. And you might think that, I really like this organic one because it just has the name of the magazine really big, and then it has an image on the background. But that might look good to you, but that is not following the format of what is a best-selling magazine from one of the world's largest publications publishers in the world. So you want to come down and you're trying to find something that kind of models the layout of what it is that you want to what it is you want to go after. So a lot of these, again, they're designed to look, very catchy and very high. A lot of these I'm looking at just makes me feel like they're very high end. However, if I was to pick one, I would say this Tasty is the closest one out of all of the ones that we saw that was on Amazon in Google Images, because it has an image on the right, and then we have like a left-hand column where we have all of the information on the left. And then they have the name of the magazine on the bottom, but we would want to put it on the top. So let's say Tasty is like the one you want to go with. Then you would click on that. And again, we're designing our ebook now. So what we're going to do is, now that we have like the layout for our cover, like before we even get into designing the pages of your ebook, I want to walk you through how to do this step by step, like literally page by page. So before we even get into like what's the table of contents look like, or what should the actual pages of the ebook look like, we need to work on the cover. So to work on the cover, again, you would be modeling after what's already working in your industry. So this one, it looks like says Food Network on the left, and it says Cook Like a Star, and it has some pictures of people up here across the top. Let's take a look at some others. So again, Food Network logo on the left, and it has pictures of people across the top. Another one, Food Network, and it says Cook Like a Star, pictures of people at the top. So if you're going to do maybe recipes and you're wanting to do a recipe ebook, then you might want to go out and find recipes that are from Guy Fieri and Melissa and Duff. Like maybe these same three people, at least Guy is on the top left. And then here's another one, Guy is on the top left again. So that's not by accident. If he's on the top left on a prime placement on a cover of a magazine from one of the world's largest publishers, and he's on multiple covers in the same spot, then you might want to figure out how can you get a picture of him on the cover of your magazine and do that, or a cover on your ebook, and you could do that by just including recipes inside of your magazine. So again, I'm just going like down the rabbit hole on if you were in the food industry. But if you're not in the food industry, hopefully you're kind of getting a look into my mind on how I go about doing this and how I go about doing my research. So knowing we need like 3 people at the top, we need some text on the left, we need our logo on the top, and we need an image here on the bottom right, then I would just get to work. So then, knowing that this was the closest layout that actually Canva has, then we would actually come in and then we would start, changing some things around. So we don't need a barcode. So I'm going to take out the barcode. I don't need the price. I'm going to take out the price. The logo down here on the bottom actually should probably be at the top. So I'm going to move that at the top. This stuff on the left needs to move down. So I'm going to move this stuff on the left down. And then the logo is really big right now, but it looks like if I was wanting to model the Food Network, I need more of like a logo that is more square than long. So we would just go ahead and I'm just going to just say our logo's T, let's call like, let's say our ebook is, by the company. Let's say your company name is Tasty. Well, maybe that's your logo is T right there. And then this image is on the right-hand side, which is kind of positioned the way that these others are. So that's great. So we can just go ahead and leave that the way it is. We'll take out the date. And then let's say we need to put some pictures of people here across the top, and Guy would be one of them. Well, then what you could do is you could go to Google Images and then type in, Guy Fieri. And then you would find just like an image of Guy, knowing that you're going to be putting, and again, I'm just using all this as examples to show you, like maybe you have your own images of your own people. That's fine. But what I would do is again look at what's already working in your industry and just model it as close as you can. So this one, we're just gonna use this as an example. So I'm gonna pull down Guy from Google Images to my computer, then jump over, and again I'm just using this as examples. Now I'm gonna move him up here. So I just drug an image, from Google Images to my computer, and then I drag it back into Canva. And then let's say we want, don't want to cover the whole thing. So then I'm going to try to crop this a little bit. I don't know why it's dropping the whole image in there. We don't want that. So we do not want that. So here, I'm going to change all this stuff that was white. I need to make black because I just took away the background image. because we're just going to redo this. So because what some of these magazine templates or what they have is when you saw me trying to drag an image on the cover, it was making, it was trying to fill the whole cover, and that's because that was part of the template. But if I didn't want that, then I have to delete the template element. So I'm just going to kind of redo this here. Okay, so let's bring the guy back down, and then we'll find a different image to replace that hamburger that was there. Okay, so we would do like, you know, guy up here. And then let's say there was 2 other images. I'm just copying and pasting, and then you can just kind of get an idea of how you're, you know, moving around the cover. All right. So I'm not going to make this pixel perfect. I'm just showing you like how to play around with the layouts. And like, again, if you were sitting next to me and then we're just trying to figure this out together, how this would all look. And then let's say I need something in this, when we were looking at the magazine layout, there was a bit, when we were looking at Food Network on Google Images, we'll go back to Google Images and type in Food Network magazine covers. And you can see there was like images on the right. And I always even like to pay attention to the type of images that they're using. So if these images are on like a white background, so it's like food dishes on a white background, then because maybe they're doing food dishes on a white background, so then all of the left-hand column, they can use a lot of colors. So they're using the white background to really make all of the items that are that are actually in the ebook. We're going to say ebook, not magazine. So that are in the ebook are really popping. So and just to validate this across other magazines, if you just type in, for instance, let's say Men's Health magazine covers, you can see the same thing. So there's always like an item on the right, and then it's usually or this one, there's a guy in the middle, but then it's on a white background. So the left and right, you can get really clever and creative with all of the different fonts and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So anyway, we're just kind of playing around here. So we need to find an image, right, that would go here. And let's say we want it to be pasta. So what I can do is I can start, since we're already in Canva, I can click on photos, and then I can just type in pasta. And then we can maybe find, you know, a pasta dish that doesn't necessarily have to be on a white background. If you can't find one, this one actually could be interesting because it has a light enough colored background to where I can then make the images pop, or the text on the left pop. So then once you make that really big, then you can hit position and then say to back. So now it's like it's laying on top of everything. And then on the left-hand side here, this is where we would have to play with these fonts. So what's really cool is that with Canva, you don't have to download fonts. You don't have to install fonts. You can just click on this and then play with the fonts that are actually inside of Canva. So knowing that we want to model what's already working out there. Now I jumped over to Men's Health, but let's go back to Food Network. And then, so you notice like this first one says 126 summer recipes. So imagine if you had a book an ebook that was, let's say, a recipe book or about the keto diet or something like that. Maybe you want to have some recipes, and it looks like they're using numbers and they're highlighting numbers really big. And you can look at that and verify that across all of the different covers that they have. So they're using numbers on everything on the left-hand column. So you might want to model the same thing if you're in that industry. So I would maybe say, here, let's say 121 new recipes. So we can do, I'll just say 121, and I'm going to make this look like it's like a brush font, make it super big. So 121, and it doesn't look really, it doesn't have much impact. So maybe I want to do something that has a little more impact. And then if you're looking for fonts that are bold, you could simply type in like bold, or you could type in thick or heavy. So if you see like heavy, you can see now it's going to show you all these heavy fonts, and these fonts are fonts that you could use for headlines. So if you're doing an ebook, you're probably familiar with the term headline. So these would essentially be like headline fonts, and these are fonts that you would want to use on like a cover, of a book for your ebook. So I'm just clicking through to find one that I like, because and notice too, when you're going back and you're looking, like all of the fonts are different again across all of these covers. So you just want to be, and they're fun, they're interesting. So this says 121 new recipes. So maybe I will do 121, and then below it I will say new recipes, but that font does not look good there. So I'm gonna change that font to something that might be, instead of heavy, I'm gonna go with a thick font, so it's not quite as heavy. And then I'm just gonna start clicking around until I find one that I like. So this custard one looks okay. So I'm gonna move this up here, where it says 121 new recipes. And then notice how it just kind of, it's hard to see because it's not on a white background. That's probably intentional. Why these magazines pick images on a white background. So if you absolutely have to find like an image on a white background, like let's say like a pasta dish, then you could, go to all kinds of different places. My favorite spot to go to find images is Unsplash. And by the way, if anyone has any questions, I'm not really monitoring the question or the live chat right now because I know there's a lot I need to teach today, so I'm gonna go through just teach, and then we'll jump to Q&A, and then I'll answer all your questions live. So for Unsplash, so we could type in pasta dish. And we're trying, again, these are free images, by the way, that you can get on with Unsplash. All these images are free to download. So pasta, there's really nothing on a really white background, pasta dish on white. And then maybe we'll find something that, just it's a little better looking. This one's close. So I'm just gonna download that to my computer. And then now, instead of having this big image, I'm changing out the I need to hit download free. And then now I've got this image download on my computer. I'm just gonna drag it in real quick. So here's that pasta dish image. So now once I drug that image in, it covered everything up. So I have to click on position and click to back. So it's going to the back. So now this is looking more like a little bit more of a professional, magazine. So I don't like how this T is here, and I don't want to spend this whole tutorial doing a logo, like a logo design tutorial. So I'm just going to cheat for a second, and I never recommend doing this. But I'm just going to type in Food Network logo, and then we're just going to download the Food Network logo just so I can put it on my magazine. Because again, when you're doing an ebook, it's so important that you're going to spend most of your time trying to get your cover just perfect. And then because then you're going to be able to use, I'm going to show you, once we have like a perfect cover or a perfect cover for our magazine, we can use that as a template. So then once you design this once, you're just going to be able to go in whenever you want to create new ebooks, and you already have all the layout, design, fonts, and all that. So it's just a matter of changing out the info that's on the front. So this Food Network logo has a white background. I don't like that, so I'm just actually going to come back and type in Food Network logo on a transparent background. So we're just trying to find the Food Network logo on a transparent background. There it is. So again, I never recommend using, actual logos unless you have the rights to it. I'm just doing this for presentation, just to show you, if you had a nice logo for your business, which I actually did a whole tutorial on Canva and how to design logos in Canva. I'm just showing you, this is where your logo would be. So then we have like 121 new recipes. So I might want to make that I'll put an exclamation point there. And then let's go back and take a look at the designs for the Food Network images on the, Food Network magazine covers. Because I'm really trying to model, again, a magazine cover that is a successful magazine cover. So, all right, so this was one of them. I just pull it up so we can look at it in like full screen. So this one right here says cook like a star, and then there was 3 people, and it looks like the person's name and then what it is that they have or below them. So Michael's 15-minute coleslaw, Sandra's tasty chili dog, cook like a star. So maybe we could do the same thing. So we could jump back over to Canva, and then I might need to put in like a new heading. So I'm just going to click on text and then new heading and say cook like a star. That's too bold, so I'm just or too big, so I'm gonna make that smaller. So we're gonna do 56, that's not small enough. 42, we're gonna move that at the top here. These images were way too big, so I'm gonna make them smaller. So I'm actually gonna delete those. So cook like a star at the top. We got Guy. I'm just gonna put him 3 times because I don't wanna waste your time me looking for like images of people. And then just kind of, that's good enough. So then what you would do below that is then put their name. I'm not going to go through putting the name below everything. I'm trying to show you how to model a magazine layout for your ebook, because your ebook cover is really crucial. And if you're doing ebooks for doing like giveaways, or you're trying to collect leads, and you're not doing like a fiction book, you're doing more of like a nonfiction type book, this is a great thing to follow. So by the way, is all this helpful so far? Because you probably weren't expecting this to be a whole tutorial on how to do like a cover design for your ebook, because I could have made a whole nother video on that. But when you're designing an ebook in Canva, it's really important that you get your cover right. So I just want to make sure for all you that are here live, if you can let me know in the chat if everything is going okay for you. And let me take a look real quick in the chat. And Jamie says super helpful. Chris, Sue says helpful. Good. So all this is helpful for you. Good. So I'm just going to keep on going. And Larry says maybe we can sell this ebook to the Food Network. I call dibs on the first royalties. Yeah, I mean, if you got really good at doing ebooks, you could like approach publishing houses and stuff and offer to like sell them your designs and all that. So good. All this is really helpful to everybody. All good. Super good. Good. So keep going. Good. All right. So the next thing is notice that like 126 summer recipes, 126 is this blue color, and summer recipes is black. And we go look at here, and it's like, I just have black and black, but I need this to be blue. Well, you can even take this a step further. And if you're opening up a magazine cover and you know it's from like one of the world's largest publishers that are out there, then you might as well even use their same colors. Their colors are not trademarked or patented or anything like that. So I believe it was Sue Doc Ross that is in the chat right now, suggested this to me on the last live stream, is that there's a Chrome extension you can use called Colorzilla. So I have Colorzilla installed right now on my browser. So when I'm looking at a magazine cover, I can say pick a color from the page, and then I'm going to point to a color. So I'm going to point to this blue, and then it just says, I just clicked on it and it said color copied to my clipboard. You're probably wondering, well, why would you want to do that? Well, because when you come back to this magazine, let's say I want to make this 121 text, I want to make that blue color. Well, now I can just paste that color in. There it is. And there's my blue color directly from the magazine that is already proven to be successful. Same here, like Cook Like a Star and Food Network, all this is that blue color. So you would just simply model it. So you would come back, Cook Like a Star, highlight that, click on your little color tones, and then you can choose the blue color that you just selected. So now you got blue. Now I'm not going to change the Food Network logo, but you get the idea. I'm going to move 121 up just a little bit higher. New recipes, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger of a font. That's 20. Make that 24. Make the box a little bigger. Okay, this is looking good. So now we need to put, it looks like between each of the sections on the side, there's like this line divider is what I call it, where it's like a line, but it looks like dots. So we need to add that. So what we'll do is in Canva, you go to this section called Elements, and you can just type in line. And then here's all these different line dividers, and Canva gives you tons of them. And look at the very top. There's a line divider. It's free, and it's dots. So we can click on that. Here's our dotted line divider. So we're going to take this, and you can size it down to match the section you're going for. And the really cool thing with Canva, and I talked about this in the other live streams I've done, is that when you click on an element, this white bar here at the top is always going to change based off the type of element you're clicking on. So I just clicked on this dotted line. Well, then you notice the only thing I can do with this dotted line is change the color. So I can click on color and make that black. Okay, so I have 121 new recipes. And the next thing is Crazy Delicious Burgers, Steaks, and Ribs. So it looks like Crazy Delicious is in one font and it's bold, and then Burgers, Steaks, and Ribs is not. So I would want to go click on text. I want to add a new, and I always like to do headings whenever I'm adding a new text element, just because it's bigger. So I'm going to say Crazy Delicious, and I'm going to make that smaller. I'm going to move it there. It's way too big, right? So I need to actually make that the whole font itself small. So 36 maybe. If the line height, like I don't like the space between Crazy and Delicious, I can click on line height, and then I can play around with the line height to really tighten it up. I can make the letters really wide or really short or really small. I like to remove spacing on letters to really make it pop. Michelle says, "Oh my God, I never knew this in Canva. Thanks so much. You're welcome." That's what this is all about. I'm just showing you everything I know when it comes to designing. Like right now, to design ebooks in Canva. But we're spending so much time on the cover because the cover is so important on your ebooks, or else no one's going to want to buy your ebook or put in their email to download your ebook. So we're going to you'll click on the alignment instead of it's center aligned, but we want to left align it. Notice it's off the page now, so we're just going to bring it onto the page. So Crazy Delicious, and then Crazy Delicious is this weird green color. So I need to know what color that is. So I'm going to use my little color picker, which is Colorzilla on the Chrome. What is it? Yeah, Google Chrome, the Chrome. And then I'm going to move over the green color, click on it. It's copied my clipboard. Crazy Delicious, I'm now going to change that color to green, which is a color I would have never picked because I think that's an ugly color. But again, I'm not going to go with what I think works. I'm going off of what actually does work because of one of the largest publishing companies in the world is doing this. So Crazy Delicious burger, steaks, and ribs. So now I need to put burger, steaks, and ribs. Sorry, my nose is itching. And then I'm going to just pull this element since I already have that element on the page. I'm going to say burgers, comma, steaks, comma, and ribs. I think that's how they did it. It was burgers, comma, steaks. Oh, no comma after steaks, just steaks and ribs. And then it looks like and ribs. So it was like burgers on one line. Oh, I just removed it. Okay, so it was burgers on one line, steaks on another line, and ribs on another line. So burgers. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to make this a little bigger. So that's 20. I'll make it 28. And a little bigger, 36. That's looking better. So now I'm going to play. I need to make this font skinny because see how the font here is skinny, the burger, steaks, and ribs. So what this is called is you can just type in thin or light. And light is going to give you all these thin fonts. So we're just going to choose a thin font that looks nice. So actually, this one looks kind of fun. I'm going to go actually with what's working though. So Binker. This one's close. This one's good. All right, so I've got the sans font, or it's Allegra sans thin. So I'm gonna just make this a little bigger, so that's just to fill that up. And then now I wanna play around, like I feel like it doesn't look just like the magazine cover, because the magazine cover, it looks like the font is closer together. And notice the spacing in between burgers and steaks, and then between steaks and then and ribs, that vertical line height is very tight. So mine is not. So I need to highlight all of this and then click on line height. I'm just going to make it smaller. And I feel like the whole thing just needs to be a little smaller. No, it doesn't look good smaller. Leave it like that. So there you go. And then maybe maybe it's the font that's throwing it off. But so you would just find another font. So Crazy Delicious, burger, steaks, and ribs. Now next, special edition, 50 grilling ideas. But notice there's another dotted line for a line divider. So we're just going to take our line divider we already have, highlight it, and then I'm just going to copy it, which I don't know if there's an actual one of these. I don't know if one of these, can I just hit duplicate? I don't know if this is going to duplicate the whole page or just this thing. Let's check. Oh, just duplicate that. So that's what I wanted. All right, so I'm going to move this down just a little. I'm just giving it a little breathing room. Okay, so now 121 new recipes, burger, steaks, and ribs. Next one is going to say special edition 50 grilling ideas. So I'm just going to copy burger, steaks, and ribs, do special edition. I'm going to, that's more of a normal font, so I'll just do, I don't know, bold. And then find just a bold one here. Special edition. Make that smaller. And I hope you're all enjoying, like, I hope this is helpful, like just over the shoulder, because the thing with YouTube is a lot of YouTube videos, they don't go through this detail where they're showing you like why they're making the decisions they're making. They just show you like, here's how to use the interface, and then that's it. But for me, I'm actually just designing a cover, and I'm walking you through all of the reasons why I'm making the choices I'm making. And hopefully this is just giving you a good graphic design lesson as well. And because this is the kind of stuff, like even how I was talking about like vertical line height and make the character spacing a little tighter on headlines like that, those are skills that you're going to be able to use for all kinds of things, not just creating an ebook in Canva. So that's what's really different with my trainings that I do on YouTube versus everybody else, is that I'm just very over the shoulder. And Magnus says over the shoulder is the best method. Yeah, I'm glad you guys appreciate it, because I'm nervous when I'm doing this, because I feel like it's boring all of you, because I think, to me, sometimes watching someone over the shoulder could get boring. So I'm trying to talk through why I'm doing what I'm doing, and then hopefully that'll help you guys out. Okay, so we're just going to finish up here on the left-hand side, because there's a couple more things here you need to see. So special edition is on 2 lines. Then once we finish up the side, we're just going to move on to the next page. So you can just kind of see how to finish off doing an ebook. So special edition, and then 50 grilling ideas. So I'm just going to take another thing I have here. And if you saw how fast I copied that, like I clicked on it, I didn't click this duplicate at the top. You saw it's like, I could copy it a bunch of times. It's because what I'm doing is on my keyboard, I'm hitting Control C for copy and then Control V for paste. So I highlighted it, I hit Control C, and then now I just hit Control V, and then it just copied it on my without having to click a button. So special edition 50, was it just the word 50? Yeah, 50 grilling ideas. So 50 is huge. So we need to make that like really big. So we'll do like 88. That still needs to be even bigger. Okay, so 50, and then it looks like this font, I don't even know what that font would be. So let's just go ahead and get rid of the bold and everything together. And I just want to just browse the fonts until I find something that looks kind of like, oh, that was pretty close, what I just clicked on right there. So 50 is a different font, and then it's not green, it's like this orange color. And again, instead of me trying to reinvent the wheel, I'm just going to click on the eyedropper and click on color picker, and then click on, I need to click on the Colorzilla, pick a color from the page, click on orange. I didn't get the exact color. And by the way, I see some of you in the chat, if you're impatient and you just want to get to see how to create the rest of the ebook, I apologize. That's just not how I teach. Like the way I'm teaching right now is just how I'm teaching. And if I'm going too slow and you just want me to get to it, you could probably just do some searches on YouTube and then find some other videos that just get to it. But then don't walk you through all the psychology and reasoning why they do what they do, which I feel like is the most important part of learning something. So if I'm not moving fast enough, then this is not for you. Okay, so grilling edition. So I'm going to copy special edition. I'm just going to put one more thing below 50, and that's going to say grilling ideas. So we'll do grilling ideas. And then we're going to pick a different font for that. I'm not going to try to match the exact font. I'm just going to just pick something that looks okay for you guys. Okay, that's fine. And then notice how grilling ideas, it's all capitals, but then like I did not type in all caps, but it is all capitals. So what happened there was on Canva, there's this little button that says uppercase, and if you click on that, it'll take away all the capitals that are uppercase. It took me a while to figure that out, because I was when I was using a template for it was actually an ebook cover once, I could not figure out for the life of me, like, why is it always in all capitals? And then I found out there's just a button you got to click. So that is it. So that's essentially like how you would design, first off, like your cover of what it is that you want to design. And I'm just seeing if Kevin says, I don't want to just get to it. That's why we're alphapreneurs. Exactly. Like, I mean, entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs are people that, you know, they just want to have success, but they don't want to do what it takes to get successful. They just want success. And, you know, I look at like an alphapreneur. I look at an alphapreneur as like being like the 1%, like the top 1% of entrepreneurs. And the people that are super successful, they pay attention to detail, and they take the time to do all the stuff I'm showing you right now, because that is what's going to make them sell like hell their ebooks, or get a lot of email addresses to give away an ebook. Whereas if you didn't do this and you just went with a basic template that was in Canva, it's not going to look like this. Then it's not going to work well, and it's not going to work well. And then you're gonna be like, what the hell? And then you're not successful. And that's what is the big difference between what I do and what other people do. Halogen says, I use Canva regularly, but I'm never this quick with it. Yeah. And it takes practice for sure. Okay. So now that we've got that, so that is, it says let's grill really big, like above the burgers. So we need something really big here. I do not, this is just another tip, is that when I'm designing covers or designing anything that's like a big graphic, I do not like a lot of white space. So there's a lot of white space above this pasta, and then there's a lot of white space below it. We need to fill that with something. So I'm going to just create a new heading. So I clicked on the text layer. I'm going to click on heading, and then I'm going to move heading over here, and I got to size this to be wide enough. And then I'm going to say, let's eat. And then I'm going to pick, I need a really big, like bold, like this is taking up a lot of the cover of what your ebook would be. So I need this to be like in a really good looking font. For the one here is just, I don't know what that font type would be, more of like a Times Roman. But let's just find something that looks a little different here just to make it look fun. Finger paint. I'm not a fan of fonts that have like an italicized to it. I like fonts that are more upright. Ooh, that looks good. Water lily. But you know, I'm going against already what I just said. Like you want to try to follow what you're doing with the magazine cover that you're modeling. So we'll type in Times. And then here's these, this is going to be really close. So I could hit bold. Let's eat. I need to make this really big. So 62, 72, 88. And then I don't like how much spacing there is between let's eat. So we're going to click on, oops, I clicked on that button that made it all caps. I don't want that. So we got to click on the spacing icon, and then I want to make the letters smaller, or not smaller, the spacing in between the letters smaller. So now that's looking a little better. Okay. So anyway, that's kind of how you would design their cover. So there's a lot going on there. But this is how you design an ebook. Like you start with your cover. Now here's where people kind of get lost. Like they don't think on Canva that you can actually make an entire ebook. They think you can do covers, and there's even templates and everything out there that are like covers, ebook covers and magazine covers and all that kind of stuff. But there is no like ebook option. So what you need to do is just understand how Canva works. And the way Canva works is that when you just design the cover, now we're moving on to where you can click on add new page. Thank you, Steve. Steve says, why are you so good? I appreciate it. So now that you have the cover, you need to think about in terms of like your pages that are going through your ebook. It's important that you already have your ebook written out ahead of time, and just have it written out in like Microsoft or Word or some document editor. So that way you can just copy and paste when it comes time to fill your pages with content. So now what we need to do is add a new page. So what you would do is click on add new page, and then you're going to add a new page. And then I don't know why it just copied the image, but we would just get rid of the image. And then now you would work on page 2. So that is kind of, and then as far as like page 2, and you're wondering, well, what you're looking at a blank page. That's like the worst thing you could do as a designer, is look at a blank page. So what I would do is if you're really wanting to go after, let's say the Food Network, or you're really wanting to model your ebooks like the style of books that are or magazines that are by big publishers, I recommend actually buying a couple of magazines so you can open up their magazine and then see how the table of contents looks. So I don't know if I can find this on Google Images. Let me type in Food Network magazine table of contents. And yeah, we might get lucky here. And you can kind of see here, this is like a table of contents of one of their magazines. So it's like you can click on it. So it's like a big image, and then it has all their, things below it. So again, don't try to come up with your own idea for table of contents. You need to look at what's already successful and make a better table of contents that's already out there. Mr. Bagley says, I'll be making digital products with this now. I use Canva for everything. And that's, yeah, you absolutely should use Canva for everything you possibly can. And what's really great about Canva is that once you have things designed, you can then hit File, and then you can save these to a folder, and then you can use your design for templates. For any time you ever want, you spend, let's say, a whole day designing all your pages for an ebook, well, then save that to a folder. So I would, let's say, we'll call this Food Network clone, and then I will save to a folder, and then I will create a new folder called Ebooks. So then now I can go back to my home, and then I can click on for folders. Maybe I gotta hit refresh here. Here's my, well, on the left-hand side, I click on folders and ebooks. So I click on ebooks, and then there's my Food Network clone. So then whenever you want to go create another ebook, once you have one, I mean, we're not done doing this yet, by the way. We still got to make up the other pages, which will go a lot faster than the cover, I guarantee it. So, but once, as we're designing and spending a day really like geeking out on making your cover look unbelievable, then save it to a folder. And then when you're ready to, this would be like, you know, ebook, or we'll call this issue number 1. Well, then let's say you want to do another ebook next week for something else to give to your audience or to sell to your audience. You would hit make a copy, and you would name this one issue 2. And then you just go into that, and then just, you've got everything all here for you. Everything's already laid out. And then you just, your layouts are there. You just go around and change the fonts and change the colors and have some fun with it. And the Food Network was actually a little tricky when I was looking in Google Images, because because it looked like every one of their magazines, it is the same layout, but they're using a lot of different colors. However, if you're looking at like Men's Health magazines covers, so let's say you're in the weight loss space and you're catering specifically to men, well, then you would want to find an equivalent magazine that you can model. So you notice Men's Health, they've got the logo across the back. They have a guy in front of the logo, and the logo across the back is red. All the text is on the left and the right-hand side of the main character. And then, so instead of just the left-hand column, it's left-hand column and right-hand column. But notice there's only 3 colors going on. There's black, there's red, and then there's this highlighting color that they're using on things. So once you really take the time to like clone what a really good cover looks like, then you can use that as templates moving forward. So I hope that works, or I hope that makes sense for everybody. And okay, so the table of contents. So let's say you can't find a table of contents for the life of you. Well, what you can do is go to, when you're looking at a new page that's blank, go to templates and type in table of contents. And then here, there's going to be a lot of table of contents already laid out for you, but I'm going to give you a little warning. Canva makes their table of contents designs that they do. They look beautiful, but they're not proven. So what I like to do is look at these as just maybe as a guide to get some ideas. But again, don't go with like this table of contents. Notice I just clicked on one, and it loaded my whole page with the table of contents. So page 1 was the cover that we did, and page 2 is the table of contents. Mr. Bagley says, can you do page changes after you download with this? Once you download, I haven't got to the downloading part yet. So hold tight, and then you'll see how that works. So let's say you're looking at this page 2 and you clicked on it and you're like, crap, I don't want this. I don't want this table of contents. Well, then you can actually undo in Canva. So you just hit the undo button. So you're like, oh, thank God, we're back to not that. So then we can type in table of contents again, and then you can maybe just go with a table of contents. If you're more of an entrepreneur, you could go with just one of these table of contents, which is beautiful. But if you're an alphapreneur and you want to be the top 1%, go after what works. Go after publications that's been around for 100 years and buy one of their magazines. Go to the store today, buy a couple magazines from the industry you're in, so you can flip through it and you can see the layout of every single page in those magazines. Because when you go through and look at those pages in those magazines. Then you can jump in Canva and side by side, what you saw me do with the title, the cover, we can actually do with all the pages, all the layouts of all the pages. So that I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you templates, because if you go look up how to create an ebook in Canva on YouTube, just about every video, because I looked at them already before making this live stream to make sure what I'm about to teach isn't already taught, and it's not. All the videos that are out there on YouTube are showing you just how to use the templates in Canva. That is not what you want to do, because these templates are not designed. They look pretty, but they're not. There's not a lot of psychology going on to get people to want to buy, to get people to really flip the pages in the ebook or any of that. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend time on showing you how to find templates in Canva. You can go look at other videos on that. You can do that. It's a fast track to doing this, but you're going to waste your time because if people aren't buying your ebook, or maybe they buy, even worse, they buy your ebook and they ask for a refund, it's because your ebook sucks. Not only does the copy sucks in the ebook, but maybe the actual design and layout and everything just sucks. So Larry says, can you still buy magazines from the store? Maybe. If you can still go to the store, the magazines are still there. All right, so we got the table of contents. Well, now you actually need you need to create the actual pages of your ebook. So what you do in Canva, you work in a very linear format. So you're scrolling down and we're looking at each page, one page at a time. So we had our cover page, we had our table of contents page. Now you would click on add new page, and then we're going to work on page 3. Well, if this is your actual, page 1, like chapter 1 or whatever, you could come back again if you want to just start with something. I don't know if you can even, yeah, they don't have chapter. Oh, they kind of do. So you could try to find a template that might have a layout just to at least put the blocks on the page for you, because I'll tell you, like the table of contents and the actual cover of your ebook is going to be your most important 2 pages of your ebook. The rest, the filler, the actual pages of your ebook, just kind of model like whatever is working well in your industry. But if a general layout is like there's stuff on the right hand column and then there's a main image, you could possibly find a template that at least can get you started. And then once you have this and you want to use that layout for every page, you would just hit copy page, copy page, copy page. So now you can see we're up to page 6, and you would just come in and fill in all of that. Now, if you need to do it from scratch, well, then what you would do is just click on add new page. And then from here, you would click on text, and then maybe you want to add a heading. So then your heading would go up here, and then maybe you need to add a line divider. So we'll put in line divider. Oh, I'm on text. We need to be on elements. So I'll type in line divider. Just line, because I'm just trying to find a black line. That's a gray line, but let's just say we want a black. So you would do black, make it cover the whole. Notice there's 2 ways that you can size it. If you did it like this, it's going to make the line really bold. You don't want that. You got to size it to where you like the thickness of the line, and then if you move your mouse, you can see it changes the arrows. You want the arrows where it goes left and right, and then that's how you can make it wide. So then you got your heading. And then maybe below that, you might just want to have text. Maybe you're doing more of a novel, because I saw there was someone in here that is doing a novel. So then you would come and do text. And then you could do right here. This actually, this would be good for the heading and everything. So maybe I like that. So I'll just remove all of that. So I could just go with this layout. And then this layout, I could size it to be kind of the way I want the page to look. So everything is laid out there for you, and then you can see like that would be a page, right, of your actual ebook. It really depends on the type of ebook you're going to do. If you're doing more of a magazine style, then you obviously want to model the designs of what's in a magazine. But if you want to do more of like a book style, then you would just want to go with something more basic like this. And then once you do, like, let's say you copy and paste from let's say you use Google Docs, you would copy and paste just the text and then just keep creating your pages. So let's say you got a book with like 10 pages, and then this would be your ebook, right? Now, obviously, I didn't go through, I just duplicate a lot of pages so you can kind of see how to create a new page when you need to create a new page. But once you have all of this, this is where you put on the finishing touches. Now, before you put on the finishing touches, you want to hit File and then make sure that it says all changes saved, because before you start downloading or exiting or anything like that, you want to make sure all the changes are saved. Now, Canva does auto save things, but if you like your internet connection dropped out while you're in the middle of doing this, then it's going to throw everything off and things didn't save right. So you always want to make sure that your changes are saved before you download anything. So then now that you've got all your changes there and everything looks good to you, now it doesn't obviously in this, this was all using it, showing you how to do the covers, table of contents and all of that. Then you're just going to hit download. And then when you hit download, the file type you're going to want to do, if you created multiple pages and there's a lot of text on the pages, Canva is really intelligent because they use AI and all kinds of stuff, that it'll all already show you the file type PDF print, which means it's going to download a PDF file for you, multiple pages that is all aligned and everything specifically so people can print on their printer, which is what you want for what you want for doing an ebook. So you would do PDF. If it's not predetermined, then you would just click the drop down, find out where the PDF print is, click on it, and it's going to say select all pages. You could actually choose to only choose to only download the PDF, a couple specific pages, or you can do all pages. I would recommend all pages because that's the PDF. Then you hit download. It's going to prepare your design. And this will take a little bit depending on how many pages you have, obviously, how many images you have, and all of that. And then now it just downloaded to my computer. So now what I'm going to do is open it up so you can see it here. So this would be your ebook. So you can see this is a PDF. This was here. That was the page 1, table of contents. Then we got into the meat of the pages. That's it. That would be your ebook. So what you do is you just spend your time in Canva doing one page at a time, and it's going to take a lot of time doing it your first time. But once you do it your first time, then you're going to have that folder you can click on inside of Canva, and then you can go to ebooks, and then you've got your clone there. So then what I'd recommend doing, depending on the type of business you're in, now that you've got your clone and you have if I was in the ebook industry right now or doing books, I would actually do this magazine layout and then have every book every ebook be smaller, like maybe 7 to 10 pages, but have them be very visual and very engaging like a magazine would, with big images and text overlaying things and all of that. And then have it where you come out with new issues every week. So every week when someone goes to your website, you don't just have one ebook they can download. You have this whole library of ebooks that instead of selling one ebook for $30, I rather have 30 ebooks that I sell, for $5, and then keep them really small, because then you can have it where people feel like they need to collect all of your issues or collect all of your ebooks. So that's where a lot of people make the mistake today of doing ebooks, is that they spend a lot of time doing one and then they try to sell it for $47 or something like that, and then they can't sell it and they wonder why. Usually it starts with literally how awful your cover is, or how awful your design or your layout looks for your ebook. So you covered that. You're fixing that already with what I'm showing you, or what I've already showed you. But I would much rather, in the business of doing books, have a lot of books on one topic. So instead of one book with like 10 chapters, break off those 10 chapters into 10 individual books and sell them for a lot cheaper. So hopefully that's helpful so far. Werner says, "This is great. You add another week to my life." What I share with you on my YouTube channel is I'm teaching you skills that you're going to be able to use forever. So you don't have to necessarily do all this today, but you now have all the skills. You can come back and watch this video whenever you really need to get down and do this. There's one more thing I did want to show I didn't cover, and it was ironically, it was with regards to the cover. So if you remembered when we were looking at images, Men's Health, something that's really powerful with magazines is layering. And I recommend this with ebook covers. So notice like this right here, there's like a big character in the middle, and then there is the name of the magazine in the back behind his head, but then there's like text here on the left in front of him. That all has to do with layering. So how that works is inside of, let's say this right here. Let's say I'm just going to delete all this. Everything I just did, I'm just going to delete. So actually I won't delete that. But let's say this image, right, is going to cover the whole page. Not the whole page, but you get the idea. So like that. So layering. So what I would do is like I could layer, right now, if this text is laying on top of that, you would just simply, if you want to play around positioning, you just have to hit position, and then you could do backwards or forwards and things like that. So that's what layering is. I meant to cover that earlier whenever I saw the Men's Health thing. And the way to pull this off too, to do layers like this, is if you're doing a main character or a main piece, like an image piece, this needs to be on a transparent background. So that way, whenever you are layering, you're not like putting text behind the whole image that covers the whole page. Because if I'm in, right, where was I? If I was here and I want to click Let's Eat, and then I want to position that backwards. Well, here, this image is, so position, I don't know why it's still not there, maybe because there's not enough elements on page. But if I put it backwards, it would actually go behind the whole image. And that is because you need to layer based off of transparent images. So, and if you need to learn about image transparency and how to remove the background and all that, I have a whole nother live stream that shows you the basics of Canva. And I talk about transparency and everything there. So, so that's what I want to cover today, is really just to give you a step-by-step tutorial for ebooks. And again, if you really did like this, then just give me a like if you haven't done so already, because that's always going to help out with my YouTube channel and my videos. And I want to open up for live Q&A. So I saw that the chat, thankfully, the chat was super on fire today. So a lot of you were talking to each other. You were probably helping each other out. I wasn't monitoring and watching the chat today as much as I usually do, just because I was in like tutorial mode. So if there's any questions you have now, what I'd like for you to do is type in a Q and then ahead of your question, and then let me know what your question is, and I'd be happy to answer them. And one more thing while I'm waiting for questions to waiting for questions to come in is like I did kind of not trash talk, but I did kind of like shoot down like Canva's tutorial or Canva's templates they have. However, if you are doing certain books, like let's say you're doing a novel, well then they do actually have really good book cover templates for novels and stuff like that. So you could type in like book cover, and then you can see there's a lot of different book covers here. There's like vintage cover, Wattpad cover, children's book cover, nonfiction book cover. So if you choose this, it'll give you some really good kind of at least places to start. But again, if I was doing a book, like whether it be a fiction or nonfiction book, but you were going more for a style of a book, I would look at these, but I wouldn't necessarily choose one. I would just look at them for ideas of how people are using their fonts and all that kind of stuff. But there are a lot of really, powerful templates in Canva, but I would not recommend like building your whole business off of the templates in Canva. I recommend building your business off of what works. So to do, what works, you basically have to go and take a look at, if you're in Amazon, you would go to books and type in, actually, I think you would just go to best-selling books on New York Times. And then what you can do is look at the New York Times bestseller list. And then depending on the books, the industry that you're in, instead of looking at the templates that are in Canva, I would look at these and actually look at the layouts of best-selling books. So if you're going to do more of a book that is, you don't want to have a layout like a magazine, you can absolutely 1000% like recreate any one of these book titles or book covers inside of Canva, doing exactly what I showed you. Okay, so I saw some questions were coming in. Sue says, I have an ebook with 50 marketing tips and tricks what magazine model. So if it's marketing related, I would recommend Fast Company. So what you would do is you would go to, here, we'll just go to Google Images. So I would type in Fast Company magazine covers, and then I would look, I would find a cover, a style of one of their covers that you would like. And the reason I say Fast Company, because marketing related stuff, there's a lot of Fast Company articles that are in actually magazine issues that are all about marketing. So I would look at the layout there and then maybe pick like one. I mean, you can pick like a person to put on the cover of your magazine, as long as one of your tips or something is related to that person, and give credit to where the image came from and all that within your magazine in the source section, or in your ebook, give credit to where the image came from. So that's what I would do. So if I was doing 50 marketing tips and tricks, find a really good like headshot of someone and then put that on the cover, make that the cover of your ebook, and then make sure you source where that image came from. And then you have one of the tips relate to that person that's on the cover. So it works out in your favor. Thomas says, awesome, Chris, and super informative. Thank you so much. Brett says, terrific. You're welcome. Mr. Bagley says, can you add links to go to different pages? That's a good question. I don't think you can, because I have not ever had to do that on the books that I've designed. I've not done it, so let me take a look and see if we can. There's only one way to find out. So this is page 2, and okay, so page 3. So we know there's multiple pages. If I click on like I'm going to zoom in so we can all see this. So if I click on a thing there, yeah, there's no linking. If I do position, no, that's the backwards and forwards. Here's a link. Interlink. You can link to external websites. So I guess you cannot link to, I could do like, no. Yeah, there is no. So short answer, no. So for like a table of contents and all that in your ebook, probably what you're wondering is if you could like link your table of contents to those pages. Doesn't look like you can in Canva. So unfortunately not. Liz, so after you have the PDF, you have to convert to Mobi files. How do you do that? I'm not sure about conversions, but for pretty much any conversion I do, if you have to convert PDF to Mobi, you obviously can't extract, or you can't download out of Canva to Mobi. But if you have a PDF, then I would just go to Google and type in PDF to Mobi Converter. I misspelled converter because I misspell everything. And the very first thing says, I just would start opening up a few of these in new tabs and find the one that has the less ads on it, because all of these have ads all over the place. Like, do you want to install this extension? No. European cookie law. Okay. But you can see that here's an ebook converter. So you could, so that's a good one. Looks like this one, PDF to Mobi.com, would probably be your best source. And then here, it looks like you just drop your PDF file in. And then you can convert it to all kinds of things, not just Mobi, but whatever you need. So as far as conversions, I always use online converters that are free. And the reason, if you're kind of always wondering, like how I used to wonder, like, how are these services free, like to convert things? Like, what's the catch? The catch is they make their money off placement ads, like ads that are all around their thing. So you'll upload something, and then there'll be an ad that looks like there's a button you need to click to download or get started, but that's not going to get started for downloading the link. You can look, this is actually an ad from Google. So you got to be careful with the ads around the actual interface of what you need to do. But for doing like a conversion, that's what I would do. Can I do this on Canva mobile app? You should absolutely be able to, if you want to use Canva on like an iPad or anything like that. Is it possible to hyperlink text in Canva? No. Well, you saw I could hyperlink text, but I could only do it to an external URL. I couldn't do it. I could not link pages within pages inside of Canva. Greg, does the free version of Canva support the tasks you performed today? Yes, it absolutely did. Or you absolutely can. Terry says amazing training. But yeah, and by the way, if this training was informative for you. If you could just let me know like what you thought of the training in the chat, because this was probably the most hands-on, like you just watching as I'm typing and like sizing up fonts and all that kind of stuff. Like I've never done a training like that before on YouTube. So yeah, if you could give me feedback on that, that would be really helpful. How do you do shadows? How do you do shadows to appear behind people's images? I honestly wouldn't recommend doing shadows behind people's images, because when you start doing shadows and stuff like that, when you extract to PDF, like the shadows can look pixelated and it just doesn't look professional. But if you wanted to, I say that, but if you wanted to, let's just go take a look here. I don't put shadows behind anything, but if you want to click on like this right here, like I said, every type of image or every type of element inside of Canva has their own features. So if you wanted to like the cook like a star, notice that there is no like drop shadow feature. There's transparency. You can copy the style, but there's no like drop shadow feature. Now, if I click on like an image of Guy Fieri, all you can do here is in Canva, you can see on the left, you can click on effects. And on effects, it always takes a while to load. Last time I did this, there was some kind of issue and it didn't load. But the effects, there's a lot of effects that you can apply to a picture. I don't know if there's actually, here's the filters. So these are more like Instagram type filters. You can adjust all of the brightness, contrast, saturation, process, all of that. You can crop, you can flip. But I don't see any drop shadow feature. But again, I don't do drop shadows on anything. I used to like years ago, but now everything is very flat. Like the what people like now is like a flat look, which is nice because it's just less stuff you have to do. So you don't have to worry about drop shadows or anything like that. Jamie says, how do you flow in a lot of text? So if you are wanting to do like an ebook and you're wanting to do like a big block of text, then here, let's actually type in, or let's go somewhere where there's a lot of text. What is it? Lorem ipsum generator. So let's grab a bunch of text. We're going to do like 6 paragraphs. Okay, so here's a bunch of text, right? So I'm just going to, and then this is just the generator where I can like just get a bunch of random words. So we're going to take that. And if you want to put in a lot of text, so let's zoom out just a little bit here. And like right here, let's say you don't have this template. I recommend clicking on text and you add where it says add a little bit of body text. Click on that and then just drag it to where you want to start. And then copy and paste out of wherever your ebook is. So if you wrote your ebook in a Word document somewhere, you can copy from your Word document and come in here and then right click and hit paste, and then it'll paste it all in. Now notice the formatting is not good. So you're gonna highlight it all and then you gotta do a little tweaking. So the alignment's centered, so you need to click it to left align it. The font size is 24, that's way too big for any book unless you're doing like a children's book. So maybe you want to do like 12 or 14. So see now that's what it's starting to look like. And if you need to add the paragraphs, then you just come in and add your paragraphs. I'm not adding paragraphs where I'm supposed to, but I'm just showing you like, you know, you can format it however you would like, and you can bold, you can underline, you can italicize, you can do all that. So you can make the pages look like traditional book pages if you need to do that. Sue says, how would you prep the ebook to become printable product on Amazon with crop marks and page size? Honestly, I've never put a book on Amazon before. There are people that I know that are in this live chat, and I definitely know there are people inside of Alphapreneur that are Amazon publishers where they have done hundreds and hundreds of Kindle books. So post that question inside of Alphapreneur, and there will be somebody that can definitely help you out. As far as, but I do see you said add crop marks. I've never had to do that, but let's say you were downloading this book. When you download, you can say crop marks and bleed. So you can, there's a check mark where you can actually, I guess, add the crop marks that are needed for when you're uploading to Amazon. But don't quote me on that. I would recommend posting that in Alphapreneur so people can help you with that. Halogen says, terrific information. Thank you so much. I don't understand this one. Would you please show us how to do the art that appears like different colored paintbrushes you use on your thumbnails? I'm going to save that for a different training because this is only about ebooks, and I like to keep these question and answers very specific to the training that I'm on. So if someone's watching this that wasn't here live, they know the Q&A is very specific to just that training. Thomas said, Sue, you can look at Inc. or Fast Company. Ronald says the knowledge in Chris's head is ridiculous. This is actually very, it's very therapeutic because I've had all this information in my head forever, and I've been doing this kind of stuff for 21 years, like entrepreneurship and building businesses and doing things online. And now that I'm able to like get it all out, it just feels so like uplifting to be able to not just get it out of my head, but to share it with people and then get feedback on like how do people like the way that I do things. Steve says, you give all the secrets. The so-called gurus are going to hate you when they find out what you're doing with Alphapreneur. I don't want to say that's the goal to get everyone to hate me, but I mean, I always feel like all information should be free. And, you know, I used to sell courses, and I have a course now that I'm still servicing customers on, but I quit selling courses. I quit doing webinars to sell courses and all of that because I just find it so much more, again, like therapeutic to be able to teach everything for free and then give all this advice to all of you so you can go build very incredible businesses. And then the only hidden agenda is that I have Alphapreneur, which is the only social network for entrepreneurs in the world. So if you ever like this kind of stuff and you want to get my feedback and advice on applying the stuff that I do, then I help people inside of Alphapreneur. So that is what I have to offer and sell. And when I do this stuff for free, I'm hoping people will join Alphapreneur to where I can be able to then like help them ongoing. Sue says, links, can you pull your PDF into Adobe PDF editor and add links? You should be able to, yes, because it is a full-blown PDF. And very comprehensive training. Thank you so much. Janice says, and by the way, I know Janice is, she said earlier that she does publish on the Kindle. So Janice, if you're in Alphapreneur, everybody, Janice is someone you might want to be interested in connecting with. She says, Mobi is for Kindle, Epub works for everything else. So if you need to convert to Epub, same thing. It looks like here on this place, well, they don't have it. But if you type in PDF to Epub Converter, then you can find one, same thing. So you would download the PDF from Canva, and then you would upload here as an Epub file to then convert things over. Steve says, I didn't learn anything whatsoever. said no one here ever. That's awesome. Thank you. Carlton says, I've been on to these free trainings. I'm blown away by the quality you provide. Thank you so much. Okay, so it looks like that's all the questions. So I do appreciate all the comments because I did read all the comments that came in. But when I asked, like, how'd you like this? You're a true leader. Chris, all the others will follow you eventually. That's the plan. You know, I keep doing all these for free, and I'm gonna always continue to do these for free. And then anyone that, you know, wants my help ongoing and wants to connect with everyone else that is all kind of doing this stuff together and applying the stuff that I'm teaching, there's the only place you can go to do that is inside of Alphapreneur. So that's what I've got for everybody. And then, as always, we're going to do a winner announcement for a free prize today. So the way this works is if you enjoyed today's talk, what I ask you to do is come back after this video is done being live, or if you're watching a replay of this, you can do this right now. And you're welcome. And then what you can do is leave a comment below and just let me know what you thought of this training. Even if you were engaging with me in the live chat, when you come back and leave a comment once this video is finished, then you should have the ability to do that on YouTube. That'll really help me out and understand like how well, you know, I perform for you. And then also, if you can share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy today's talk, or if you share it on social media or anything like that, that'll help me out also. Because the more people we get in here to show up live, the more questions that come in, the more answers I can give, the more people I can help, and that you can help by just sharing this with people. So we're really all in this together. So what I do is I always pick one comment from previous video, and then give them free lifetime access to Alphapreneur. So that's what I want to do today. And I've done this with quite a few people. We have a little winner's wall going here of everyone that has taken the time to leave a comment about a video that they were on, a live stream that they watched. And I take that comment, I do a screenshot, and then I give them free lifetime access to Alphapreneur. So for today's winner, it is Brett Cutler. Now, Brett says, thank you for today's, this was from yesterday, says, thank you for today's lesson on expanding on yesterday's live stream with another practical application of Canva and ways we can use it. I like the thing I like most is something we can apply today immediately with tips that you went over. So simple and elegant, yet powerful results. So Brett, you, my friend, get free lifetime access to Alphapreneur. So welcome. And or like welcome to Alphapreneur, not like you're welcome. And then all you have to do, Brett, is just send an email to support@alphapreneur.com and include a screenshot showing us that you're logged into Facebook or you're logged in somewhere so we can see that you are who you are. And then we will give you free lifetime access. So you have actually been added to the winner's wall now, Brett. So if you are here, I saw you were actually here earlier, just let me know in the chat. So that way I can put you up on screen and let everybody know that this is real. And Brett says, Brett is here. So Brett says, holy cow. Thanks, Chris. You're awesome. You are welcome, Brett. You are always here on the live streams. You take the time to leave comments. I see all your comments and I see everybody's comment that leaves a comment. That's what I do every morning is I get up and I read all the comments of everyone that has left comments on my videos. And that is what fuels me to keep doing these live streams. So I really want to thank all of you for taking the time to leave a comment once these live streams are over, because I know you can't leave a comment during them. So I really appreciate it. So again, if you haven't done so already, share this video with a friend that you think will enjoy today's talk. Leave a comment if you have not done so as well, because that'll help me out. And then again, I will be here same time, same place on tomorrow's live stream. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. And then I actually am going to spend the rest of my day. I have a lot of things I have to add to Alphapreneur. So I'm actually logging into Alphapreneur, the members area right now. And so if you want to join me inside of Alphapreneur, you can see all the new stuff I'm going to be adding. I can't say it publicly. So I'm just going to leave it at that and suggest jump in Alphapreneur here this afternoon. You can see all the new stuff that's being added by me. And then also for everyone else, just feel free to connect. I even added a new group inside of Alphapreneur that you can then, I don't want to say what that is either publicly, but you can see inside of Alphapreneur, there's a new group that's been added that we can all connect on. And yeah, a lot's going on. So I will see you on tomorrow's live stream. Thank you so much for being here.